Hello, I'm Marnice Charles, Assistant Director for Recruitment at Klein College of Media and Communication, and I'm excited to share a unique way to explore your interest by declaring a minor. Within Klein alone, you can choose from a variety of media and communication minors and a certificate including content creation, digital media engagement, digital media technologies, communication and activism, communication studies, leadership, international communication, journalism studies, public relations, and sports media.
We've always been sort of a hub for sports media in Philadelphia, but also regionally and nationally.
The Sports Media Certificate will allow students to work on different aspects of the field, everything from producing shows to possibly anchoring shows to writing shows, even building graphics for shows.
Students can gain a lot from this. I have been teaching on the journalism side of things. I've taught sports writing and advanced sports reporting. And we know, though, however, that the world of sports media isn't just about print, digital, TV, and radio. It's about so many other things. People are creating content at different teams, different outlets, different organizations. There's marketing, there's advertising, there's public relations. And I think that the more exposure that they have to that, the better off they're going to be, because they need to be well-versed. They do need to specialize ultimately in something and be passionate about something, but the more exposure they get to the sports media field, the better off they're going to be.
Temple's Sports Media Certificate program will not operate in a vacuum. For example, if you love analytics, there is a course on communicating statistics. Consider the Black Lives Matter movement. There's a course on communicating civic engagement through sports. There is even a course being taught on conflict resolution. All of this under the umbrella of the Sports Media Certificate program. It's a great combination of the practical and the theoretical.
You really get to learn what might interest you professionally, and you can work on those things in a college atmosphere, which really will put you in a different class among others trying to graduate and receiving jobs when they get out of school.
The Sports Media Certificate program is a great opportunity at one of America's great institutions to learn about one of the more important aspects of our society today, sports media. Now you might scoff and say, well, important? Consider this. This is an industry that during 2019 generated an estimated $73 billion in revenue. That's number one. Number two, COVID-19. What did people really miss during the pandemic? They really missed sports. Now they have it, but they, by and large, can't attend. So how do they get their fix? They get it through the sports media. One of the great attractions of this Sports Media Certificate program is its depth and breadth. First, we're talking about sports media and its effect on society, whether it's gender, ethnicity, race, religion. There's the practicality of it all. You will learn specifically sports reporting, writing, production, and performance, all of it related specifically to the world of sports.
Students can start taking courses this coming spring that will count toward the certificate program, and this will formally launch in the fall.
I've been in the sports media business for 40 plus years. This is my 27th season as the TV voice of the 76ers, and you know what? Sports media is a lot of fun.
In 1996, Bill Gates said, "Content is king." Now, he's a smart guy, and he was right. He was talking more about content like software, movies, and things like that that may stream on your TV. In our world, in the world of advertising and public relations, content is the material that brands use to reach audiences and convince them of a certain point of view or to get a certain type of action. And that is the world of the content creation minor. It's a fantastic background in not just the how messages go out, but also the why, and that why is the important part. The Content Creation Minor is a series of 7 courses, each structured to give you a great background and introduction into the world of persuasion, messaging, and how to get those messages in front of the right people. We start with Introduction to Advertising and Digital Media and Advertising. And those two courses give you a great foundation on the hows and whys and the mechanics of convincing audiences of a certain point of view. Then the minor goes into two separate areas, we like to think. One is focused heavily on copy. We have persuasive writing, introduction to copywriting, and copywriting for the print and web. And those are fantastic ways for you to learn how to convince an audience, how to deliver a message intelligently and with creativity. On the other side of the ledger, we have introduction to art direction, which makes sure that those messages that are smart and sound good also are beautiful. Because we're trying to do something a lot more with our content than just a pretty Instagram picture and sunset hard hands. That's the big difference. And then finally, we bring it all together in a course we call Social Media Marketing. And that gives you a fantastic background on the platforms that we use to reach our audiences. And we make sure that you understand the thinking behind the platforms. So if they ever change, remember Vine? TikTok is here now, but what's next? So social media marketing gives you that foundation on what could happen next and why you want to use each platform.
Digital Media Technologies minor is an interdisciplinary minor in which students take courses in media studies and production, as well as computer and information sciences. So some of the courses I teach for the minor include Intro to Media Technology, Mobile Media, Emergent Media Production, and in these courses students are making websites, authoring content with augmented reality programs, editing immersive video. Through the minor, you also have the option to take a class in video production or audio production, and the option to explore digital media technologies through lenses other than production with courses such as information technology policy, law and ethics of digital media, and creating a media business.
The minor in communication activism helps students to become more effective agents of social change. The minor will help you develop your basic communication skills, such as public speaking, persuasion, and argumentation. But it will also help you develop more advanced skills, like analyzing power structures, understanding the nature and function of social movements, how to run public campaigns for social justice, and how to intervene into social and political conflict.
We have a journalism studies minor, 18 credits, 6 classes. The first class is journalism and society, although there is a communication studies equivalent, which you can take if you're a communication studies major. And the minor is, there's some flexibility. There's a media literacy class. There are other classes that are tailored to the minor. There's mainly electives. It pairs well with anything at Klein, whether you're advertising, PR, communication studies, or CSI, or media studies and production. And it also pairs really well with political science, economics, English, any kind of major in which you're interested in taking some time and studying with some of the very best journalism professors in the country, studying the practice of journalism and the theory behind journalism as well.
Digital Media Engagement minor. I love this minor in particular because it really helps students from wherever they are in the university get a handle on the strategy and psychology that goes into developing effective advertising campaigns. For example, students will be exposed to not only intro to advertising, but they'll get exposure to search engine optimization, how to make sure that your website can be found by consumers when they're looking for you, search engine marketing, how to pay for campaigns to push that site out, that content out to consumers that may not be aware of your messaging yet. That class in particular, I think, is valuable because students get exposure working within a real campaign. We partner up with nonprofits and Google and work with money given from Google on an actual ad campaign. Students will be paired up with a nonprofit from somewhere within the United States, put together a search engine marketing campaign for that client, having done research about their brand and having gotten to talk to that client one-on-one. And then they'll actually put that plan into practice, which is an exceptionally unique experience and a wonderful learning tool. for these students as they prepare to head out into the industry. Finally, at the end of the campaign, they'll take a step back and say, why did these things happen, and do an analysis of that particular performance. All the while picking up the foundational concepts of digital analytics and reporting.
More about the International Communication minor, what it entails, what you'll learn from it, and how it will enhance your overall academic program here at Temple University. Completing the International Communication minor or concentration, depending on if you're a non-Klein student or a Klein student, shows employers that you're open to understanding others as well as yourself and how we can communicate with one another in an increasingly globalized world. This minor or concentration can be completed at home here on Temple's main campus or abroad. So whether you complete a Klein Global Opportunities program or an Education Abroad and Overseas Campuses program here at Temple, all of that coursework and great experience can be applied towards this program. Taking foreign language courses here at Temple, you can actually apply those towards this minor or concentration as well. So what can students expect to learn from this program? Well, a lot. It will teach you intercultural and international communication skills, which are important for any workforce, any community, any new place that you're entering. It shows that you understand other people, how to communicate with other people, and it even helps you understand more about where you come from yourself. You'll learn more about the globalization of media, of journalism, of communication. Example courses you can explore are intercultural and cross-cultural conflict, global communication and leadership, intercultural communication in the workforce, global media, and the list goes on and on. Overall, students will examine the intersections of culture, identity, media, and global issues to understand why cultures around the world differ greatly from one another. No matter what career or industry you enter after graduation, you're going to need to develop the essential skills needed to communicate with people who are different from you. The International Communication minor or concentration will aid you with the intercultural communication skills and other essential skills needed to compete and work in an increasingly globalized world. As mentioned before, you can supplement some of the requirements for this minor with study away and study abroad coursework or internship credit, meaning that not only are you on track to completing your academic programs here at Temple, you also get to incorporate a study abroad experience into that academic program, an experience that many students say changed their college career for the better.
How do you see a Comm Studies minor fitting into your life? Well, let's start off with a simple, facts-based answer to that. The Comm Studies minor is 6 classes long. They focus essentially on 2 required classes, one on the communication side and the other one on the media side. Why? We're the only major in Klein College that lets you investigate all aspects of media and communication. Thus, your first 2 required classes are going to be one in media and another one in communication. After that, you get to pick. There are 4 areas in the study of communication: culture, analysis, research, and theory. You take 1 class from each of those. Thus, in higher math, like we tend to do in the communication field, that means that there's a total of 6 classes or 18 total units that you will have to take. It is entirely possible to complete a Comm Studies minor in just 1 semester.
The Public Relations minor consists of 7 classes, 21 credits, that will enhance your knowledge and skill set in public relations. Now, why is that important? Because in communication, part of what we try to do is understand audiences better to give them messages that will persuade them to whatever it is we're advocating for. How will that help you in the future? That will make you more marketable if you want to go into any aspect of the communications field, because you'll understand audiences, what their desires and needs are, how to communicate and build 2-way relationships with them. The leadership minor is another minor within the Klein College of Media and Communication that you can take to help you develop leadership skills and help you develop leadership skills in others as well. Leadership can come from anywhere within an organization, whether it's a corporation or a nonprofit or even just a small business. But developing leadership skills is incredibly important in the field of communication and the field of business in general.
How can this minor benefit me from no matter what major I'm coming from? Well, like Bill Gates said, content is king. No matter what area you're studying, you're going to need to persuade audiences, and the way to do that now in the modern world is with dynamic content. It could be photography, it could be type, it could be a blog post, it could be video, whatever that is. If you study under the content creation minor, you're going to have the foundation, the skills, and the experience in order to present yourself to future employers and anyone else who needs you to produce a message. And you're going to be smarter, you're going to be more persuasive, and you're going to be more prepared.
One thing that students tell me semester after semester when talking about this minor is that they really appreciate the opportunity to take courses in computer and information sciences and to learn about coding.
The minor helps you become a positive impact upon the world around you. The minor is also open to all majors from across the university. We have students from political science, sociology, public relations, public health, advertising, psychology, business, economics, etc. If you are passionate about social change and social justice, this is the minor for you. And if you're still not convinced, simply take a look at the world around us right now. There really is no better time to study the relationship between communication and activism. The world is depending upon people like you to step up and be a positive impact.
We prepare students to take these skills from the digital media engagement minor and put them into practice in the real world. Whether you're planning on getting into the music industry, you'll need to promote yourself. Whether you're planning on going into marketing, you'll need to understand those finer concepts of advertising. From wherever you are in the university, one thing is for sure. Once you get out into the real world, you'll need to know how to promote your ideas and sell them through. And this minor helps students do that.
No matter what career or industry you enter after graduation, you're going to need to develop the essential skills needed to communicate with people who are different from you. The International Communication minor or concentration will aid you with the intercultural communication skills and other essential skills needed to compete and work in an increasingly globalized world.
We have students who become incredible scholars through a national award-winning society, Land of Pi Eta. And we also have students who go on into aspects of media in all types. These are students with a Comm Studies minor. We have students who investigate their own businesses, their entrepreneurship angles, ranging from fashion to individual consulting firms. We even have students who are looking at opening their own hair salons and makeup studios, but also those who want to craft their own version of their own business. We see ourselves as filling in the human face behind the business world. Beyond that, we're very proud to recognize several students who come to us from so many different fields with their majors. We've got people coming from the art world. We have people coming clearly from the business world. But we also have those who have a liberal arts interest and see us as fulfilling part of that dream. And then, an opportunity to investigate so many different aspects of the Klein College of Media and Communication by allowing you to be exposed to so many different facets of our field. I can honestly say, as someone who was not a Comm Studies major, I myself was a Comm Studies minor. It was one of the better decisions that I had made and ultimately led to the field that I enjoy the most. The field of teaching and the field of work hand in hand with students such as yourself.
I'm a public relations major and I've always liked to write, but I think I've excelled a lot more in my public speaking abilities, so I'm more of an in-person person. When I found out about a minor, I've never really had any information about minors. My entire family are teachers, so it was just kind of like education this, and you know, you go to school and you become a teacher, that's your job. So I never really understood what a minor was. And I was just meeting with an advisor, and I was kind of exploring the ideas of different classes I could take because we do have elective credits we need to fulfill. And a lot of the classes that seemed interesting to me, whether that was social media marketing or digital media engagement, all fell under the minor of digital media engagement under advertising. So I thought, oh, might as well pick it up, and if it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out, but I'll have a few elective credits under my belt. And as the years progressed, I'm a senior now at Temple, I kind of fell in love with every single class I took. And it just, I mean, I don't know if it's like a win-win, but I didn't expect to really enjoy it, but I did. And I recommend taking a minor. Not only does it look really great on a resume, but also it helps you see a different side of maybe advertising or communications or public relations, whatever you're interested in. I just got another internship this fall, and I am doing marketing for a law firm in Philadelphia, and I'm the only marketing person there, so essentially I'm running it myself and I'm at an intern position, but because I have experience in SEO and advertising and everything that I did with my classes, I'm so far, fingers crossed, doing well. I mean, you can ask my boss, but that I literally would not get that position without this minor. I mean, public relations is one thing, but writing in law is completely different, so they don't really need me for the typical press release media alerts, but they need me a lot for running their social media accounts and reaching out to other brands and working with their SEO company that they've hired on their own. And I've even had the people in meetings, the SEO team, say, I'm so surprised at how many classes you have under your belt that have got you to this point, and that is all due to my minor. I would not have been able to take social media marketing without this minor. I would not have been able to take digital analytics and learning all about Excel without this minor. So without this minor, essentially I would not have gotten the last 2 internships. And
so I chose the digital media technologies minor because I was interested in coding. I took coding classes in my high school and kind of wanted to expand on it, and that was a perfect way to focus on my major but also bring in coding.
I decided to minor in communications and activism after taking my first communications class because not only did I find it interesting, but I was also fascinated by how much it applies to my everyday life. I learned that good communications is like holding a superpower in the way where you learn to influence people, win arguments, and overall make the world a better place. The classes taken in my minor have just improved my writing and speaking skills along with overall my life skills. As a neuroscience major, I believe that a communications and activism minor really complements my degree because I get to study the biology of the brain while studying the social sciences of communications. Along with that, many people in STEM may struggle to communicate their thoughts, and I believe that enhancing my communication skills may allow me a leg up in my field. In my future career, I would like to bridge the gap between communications and STEM because they are way more interrelated just from taking my classes than it seems at a first glance. Overall, my interviewing and persuasion skills have improved, which is just a great thing for any career path. Especially in my path where I have to learn to be a researcher and explain my research to people who may not have a neuroscience background and ask for funding and be persuasive in that manner. And overall, I think I'm just a better communicator with my everyday conversations.
Initially, had no idea if I even wanted to pursue a minor, let alone one in communications and activism. At the time, I thought to myself, do I need a minor in something useful, like marketing or advertising, make myself seem more well-rounded? How would I look to employers depending on the minor? What if I wanted to minor in something fun like dance or music, which was one of my many passions? And did I even want to minor in something? Adding this minor allowed for me to marry my passion, one of my many passions, of social justice and motivation to find a track in PR, because it's very common and understandable for people in the beginning of their college career to not know what they want to do, what track, what path they want to follow, and I was one of those people.
I'm a media studies and production major, and coming into Temple, I knew that I wanted to add a minor. I just didn't know quite what yet. And my friends actually all really are PR majors or other communications majors. And I saw how much fun they had with PR. And on top of that, all of the amazing career options within PR directly relate to journalism, especially broadcast journalism. Whenever PR practitioners are pitching out stories, they are writing exactly how we as journalists write. So it was really something that I wanted to declare because it enhanced my major. It really set me apart in different ways. So Another thing with PR that attracted me to it was because it is a bit more writing intensive, and as a broadcast journalist, I am always writing. I'm going to be a news producer, and so the entire job really not only is with, choosing stories and news gathering, but it is all about the writing.
Our minors are 18 to 24 credits and can fit in with your current course of study by taking a few courses each semester. Our advisors can work with you to help you decide the best course of action, a roadmap if you will, as you work towards earning your minor.
In general, we prefer you to be in a good academic standing if you want to declare a minor. That means having a cumulative GPA of 2.0 or higher. Also, students can't minor in programs they're already majoring in. That means that if you're an advertising student or comm studies student, you can't also minor in those programs. That's a little different for MSP students who sometimes can do the MSP minor, but you want to talk to us about it first. Also, journalism students, because of the limitation on Klein courses imposed by the accrediting body, usually can't do a minor within Klein. All Temple students outside of Klein can minor in Klein programs if you choose.
Now you might be asking yourself, how do I declare a minor? To do so, you can email us at advise@temple.edu to officially declare a minor. You can also email us if you like to ask questions or set up an appointment before you make your final decision. If you do declare a minor, a member of our advising center will create a check sheet for your minor.
Adding a minor is a great way to challenge yourself, to learn a new skill, or just to explore your passions and interests. At Klein, there are so many options for minors that can add value to the degree you're already earning or take you in a completely new direction. Adding on to your bachelor's degree with a minor not only allows you to sink your teeth into everything a major university like Temple has to offer, but also to intellectually develop into the individual or professional you want to be. As you explore opportunities that help shape your experience at Temple, consider declaring a minor or a certificate at Klein College of Media and Communication. For more information or to declare your minor or certificate, go to klein.temple.edu/minors.